Oh man, I had low self-esteem growing up. Like I didn't like myself very much, and music was the first time, making rap music specifically was like one of the first times I felt like I had something valuable and interesting to say and a fun, creative way to say it. So it really was an empowering experience for me, and I try to pass that on. I try to run workshops with, youth who are marginalized or refugees or are dealing with obstacles or at risk in some way, to just try to create space for other people to experience that. But I mean, rap is like one of the few times when you can say, I'm awesome, I'm the ish, like it's one of the few times in your life, one of the few contexts where that's totally acceptable, and a lot of people, more people than I think is commonly realized, need that opportunity to feel like they are truly awesome. So it was a big transition for me, for sure.
What do you think makes good music good?
Honesty, I think is the one true key that you really need with anything, to be honest. Fucking anything. To make it a good breakfast, it's got to be an honest plate of food made by honest people. But no, that's what makes good music, and you can hear the difference. But I don't know. Unfortunately, what's on the radio these days, and a lot of that, I don't see any sort of honesty in it. But it's hard to tell nowadays with our technology,
What does it take to make a song good, or to make music good?
I think a lot of integrity in what you're writing, meaning, I think honesty. I think that really strikes a chord with a lot of people and gets them to relate. Yeah.
Do you want to be an actor?
I guess I was a pretty shy kid, and it kind of forced me to be social and to put myself in other people's shoes. I find it's an act of compassion, actually thinking about the way other people see the world, and trying to get a sense of not just my own perspective, but I guess any character's perspective. It's a neat kind of exercise.
If some people have asked me, like back home in Mexico when I first came here, they've asked me like, what's your dream in terms of filmmaking? And I guess like, because a lot of filmmakers are like, I want to be in the Oscars and the Golden Globes and all these things, and I tell them, as long as I can project my film and one person in the audience members smiles, that's I guess that's what will define if my film is good or bad.
What do you like about street photography?
Well, you get to see how people live, how people go about their daily life.
What makes a good movie good?
Having something valuable to say, I think, is key, and something that I probably have tapped into a little bit late in my career, because I've been making films for almost 10 years now, since I was like 16, 17. And it's just recently that I started to focus more on myself and what I actually know through the experience that I've had in my life, and then trying to distill that into a story, instead of just trying to be like working the other way around and being like, what would be cool, what would be a cool film to see, what would I like to see. I think that was all too far away from any truth that I might have. I mean, I've made so many movies that suck in the last few years, so I'm really trying to just make like good films right now, which seems sort of obvious, but my last short, I literally made like a silent film, because I was just like, I'll strip away all the elements and just see if I can do a story with what like the grandfathers of cinema had at their disposal. So it was like black and white, no sound, just music. And we got into festivals, so now I'm taking a stab at some dialogue, but there's like maybe 2 pages of dialogue in this 10-page script. So I'm just expanding outward, and hopefully with my goal with the feature is to make something that's like really exciting and maybe give something back to the genre, instead of just relying on what others have achieved already with the films that have sort of in the like horror thriller genre. Yeah.
Okay, I never read the end paper and I never read the back before I read a book because it either gives it away or it's completely wrong.